and welcome to Winfield's week of Rugby League, a week that really does offer for some the last chance at grabbing themselves a position in the 1987 semi-finals. We'll be bringing you all the highlights of the Saturday match of the day between Cronulla and Eastern Suburbs, the big clash on Sunday between South and Canberra, all the action from the other games played last Sunday, as well as the Monday night clash between Canterbury, Bankstown and Illawarra. But let's go back to last Saturday afternoon at the Endeavour field. Cronulla were at home to play the Arthur Beecham Coast Eastern Suburbs team, and for Cronulla, a loss would see them right out of contention in 1987.
The referee this afternoon, Mick Stone.
Yes, Mike Stone's the referee. We also look at, just what I mentioned there quick before this kick-off, that Jack Gibson also celebrates his 21st year of coaching. And actually, if we point this out to the viewers, that his first grade game, he coached the Eastern Suburbs side against Cronulla, and Cronulla did win their very first game of coaching, Jack Gibson, 21 years ago.
So there's the kick-off. David Smith kicking off for the Roosters. The ball going deep inside Cronulla's territory. Alan Wilson tried to grab that, and in fact we're going to see play restart with the line dropout. So a great kick from David Smith. And there is the replay. As you see, Alan Wilson is the stand-in fullback, the everywhere man, and the ball in the end actually going touch in goal, more so than across the dead ball line, almost across the join of the two lines, and played a restart with the line dropout. So the Roosters certainly getting a psychological advantage early on. The dropout, Patterson knocks it backwards. He's regathered it, the former Queenslander, as he runs up to Hatch, and Diamond buried 10 metres inside Cronulla's territory. Salvatore, now they take it up through Gilmister. Salvatore, his first grade game. Salvatore with the ball now, 35 metres out from the Cronulla Sharks goalposts. From dummy half, that's Simpkins. He's got it away. Patterson, Spina straight through the gap. Can he get the pass away? Yes, he can. Look at Stevie Morris. Morris for the corner. Morris, oh, what a brilliant try. Stevie Morris, the electrifying man. They call him slippery, and he slipped over to score another one. The Roosters are leading 4-0, but the gap was created. The try was started by Laurie Spina.
Yes, they left the gate open there, and of course Spina will be the match player.
Well, here you see, Simpkins did well to get the pass away. That's Patterson now. Look at Spina, the little jip, and away he goes and gets a beautiful pass away. Morris at 100 miles an hour over the quarter line, comes to the fullback, runs around him easily with that explosive speed of his, and that's a try. Warren.
The gap initially made here with a pass slipped by Patterson, away to Spina, who steps past Ronnie Quinn, the halfback, then slips it away to Slippery Morris. He's turned on the speed, and he's been on a try rampage in the last couple of weeks. That's his 9th try of the season, but they've been coming with a flood in recent weeks.
An important kick as he moves in. There it is. He struck it pretty well. It's coming around. Oh, just misses on the outside of the uprights. And so at the Endeavour field, we've had 3 minutes of play. And Eastern Suburbs are leading 4-0. And as you said, if they leave those gates open, something's likely to happen. Warren.
I was talking to the East trainer, Ronnie Palmer, just before the game, and we were discussing the speed of Joe Lydon compared to Steve Morris. He said that over 50 metres, there'd be no doubt Morris would get home first, probably over 100 Joe Lydon.
Arthur Beetson, man you played a fair bit of football against.
Yes, Arthur Beetson, certainly. He was fast and furious, Arthur Beetson, when he was a player.
Cronulla, the cutout pass. Staines on his own. Good defence, though, from Eastern Suburbs. Eddinghausen in a dummy half. Eddinghausen on his own. Eddinghausen, the little chip and chase. Now E.T.'s got it back. E.T. chips ahead again. Laurie Spina and Eddinghausen after the ball. Spina gets back there, and Spina gets the ball first. Only 10 metres out from his own line. But that's what we said at the beginning of the program, what E.T.'s all about. He is magical, and he's got a lot of speed.
Such quick reflexes. First of all, he saw there was no one in the second line to pop it over. Then immediately on regathering, it saw the fullback coming and put it over again.
Great thinking.
It took the speed of Spina to get back there to cover that kick with the speed of Eddinghausen coming through.
What do you do as a coach to counter someone like Eddinghausen? I suppose you can't.
Well, Eddinghausen, McGaw, the best bit of real estate property in Sydney as far as rugby league concerned. They're young. They've got a big future ahead of them.
There's another great kick from Melrose. This kicking game of Eastern Suburbs working well in the early stages of this match, as Wilson has to run back to his own line. Now getting up as Smith and Hall. Hall low, Smith over the top. Wilson to play it almost on his own quarter line.
It's a difficult job for Wilson, filling in for Jonathan Docking, who's played so well for Cronulla recently. We know Wilson can play fullback, he can play anywhere, but it's even harder for him into this strong wind, and Melrose is really exploiting it.
Well, Cronulla has actually 15 players sidelined with injury at the moment. Penalty's going to go their way here, though, against Patterson. He was having a bit of a piggyback there.
Yes, well, before the rep games came up, we look at Cronulla had a 75% of winning, and now since the representative games, they've now dropped to 35%. You'd say that's a game and a half difference, which Cronulla could have easily had, but they've helped Magor and Eddinghausen back today. It's the first time they've played since the game in Los Angeles.
It looks like Dennis Frico will be back on the field in a few minutes. He's just in the head bin.
So there's the early round scores. Cronulla 18-6 and under 23s with a big win to Eastern Suburbs in reserve grade 26-10. And that win by Cronulla in the under 23s just about snuffs out any chance that Eastern Suburbs had of taking the club championship. Manly just about secure with that club championship now. Cronulla with the ball on the halfway, and they're going to get a penalty. East all up inside the 5. Well, that wind is obviously a huge advantage for Melrose in the early stages of the game. And if it does stay up, Cronulla will have the advantage of it in the second half. But so often here, the wind changes. So often it finishes up being a southerly about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's right. We'll see the wind will play an important part to both sides here. A good kicker like Melrose in this first half will be a great advantage to Eastern Suburbs.
Well, those 2 penalties in a row to Cronulla really have helped them. They've gained 60 metres with that. As the set move sees Coleman go straight through. Coleman still going. Away it goes to Speechley. Speechley racing for the line. Speechley's in under the posts. Well, that was a real piece of Jack Gibson masterly. A set move from the tap. And Coleman went straight through the big hole. He busted them up, and Speechley said, "Thank you very much." Let's have a look at this. Now, Coleman takes the tap. He shows the ball, then goes on his own. He goes through that bad attempted tackle, and Speechley says, "Come on, draw the fullback. Thank you very much," and races away the last 15 metres to score. Dives over on the Winfield sign for all.
You practice these moves over and over and over at training. It's not very often that they actually work straight off, but there it goes, straight through. The tackle missed by Trevor Gilmeister, and through he goes, slips the pass away to Speechley, backing up in the right place at the right time.
Yes, good backing up by Cronulla.
That converted try, 13 and a half minutes into the game, sees Cronulla leading Eastern Suburbs by 6 points to 4, and how important those 2 penalties were, which took play from one quarter line to the other and gave the advantage to Cronulla Sutherland. Down on the Cronulla quarter line, the pass comes out to Magor. He thought about throwing the pass, but Eddinghausen wasn't there, and nor was Frico. Frico's in a dummy half now, decides to go on his own. He puts the little kick in, a grubber kick down towards the halfway line. It'll bounce well. Now that's Gary Worth with it. Worth straightens up, 10 metres inside Cronulla's territory. Back towards the centre of the field as it comes away again to Spina. Away it goes to Morris. He lobs that out wide. It's picked up there. Now that's Salvatore. Salvatore down to the quarter line, showing a lot of space. He's got the pass back on the inside, but alas for Eastern Suburbs, Morris couldn't get it. And coming up with it is Cronulla Sutherland, but didn't. The prop forward comes second rower, shows some speed. Salvatore in his first grade game. Look at this. He showed a lot of speed, throws the pass back on the inside, and just as well for Cronulla that Wilson was there. If that pass had managed to find the hands of Steve Morris, it would have been try time. The Eastern Suburbs have played that football all year, just keeping the ball alive as Porter makes good ground here for the Sharks.
Good ground made by Porter. Here's a go for Cronulla to keep the ball alive.
Now let's see what happens here as Magor gets it. He slips it away now. Speechley keeps it going. Now that's Hatch. The pass comes away. Porter again. Porter down to the quarter line. He can't. Yes, he can. Gregory, away it goes now. Across towards Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen slips it back to Coleman. Back it goes now to Quinn. Quinn, the ball's gone loose. 6 to go, says the referee. And Eastern Suburbs come up with it right on their own line. So let's have a look at this as Arthur beats and throws his arms up and says, "Oh." But that could have quite easily been a try. Look at this again. Now that's Porter. Now that's back towards the quarter line. He just manages to get this away. Gregory, quick hands away to Staines. Staines did well. He got it away. Eddinghausen. Lydon got Eddinghausen. Back it goes to Coleman. Coleman the pass back on the inside. Now there's Quinn. He tries the lob ball over the top to Gregory. The bounce doesn't favour Cronulla, but Patterson's there to clean it up for Easts. Now here we've got Cronulla with another chance now after they've won that scrum. So they're not done with yet. They've got it right down on the eastern suburbs line. Speechley, oh, he almost got all the way through to score try number 2 for the afternoon. Eddinghausen on his own. Eddinghausen's held up. He's only half a metre out from the eastern suburbs line. Coleman to dummy half. Coleman on his own, and Coleman's chopped down. He opened up the gap, but the legs wouldn't get him through it. Sorensen at dummy half. The ball quickly from Speechley. It's gone loose, and picking it up, Lydon. Has Lydon got it? The referee says yes, and he'll play it. A few metres out from his own quarter line, his own goal line, as Gilmister runs it away. Simpkins down injured there, you notice, number 12 for East, and this is going to be a penalty. It's against Gregory, saying that he held on to the eastern suburbs player. He might have been a bit stiff to get penalised there. Warren.
And good defence from East to hold out Cronulla there, because they were throwing everything at them for quite a few tackles.
So let's have a look at this again now. This is the incident where the referees penalised Gregory. Now, Gregory doesn't seem to be doing anything there underwater at all, are they? Gilmister lost control of that.
He just lost control of the ball, and I think that it should have been a scrum there instead of a penalty.
We've got about 7 or 8 minutes left in the first half. The run round sees Simpkins get the ball back. Morris from dummy half. Morris decides to go on his own. Little slippery Morris over the quarter line. Morris comes to Wilson, and Wilson takes him well, and there was nobody there with Morris, but
yes,
what a great
good
run.
tackle by Wilson.
Now they're keeping it going here. Spina, away it comes. Melrose, the pass over the top, goes away towards Lydon. But the referee says last tackle, and it's going to be a handover. Porter to get up and play it. Frico runs on his own. Wilson. Speechley, the long pass comes away to McGaw.
David Smith is down injured. He was on the end of that backline movement, and it's taken a heavy knock in the tackle.
Well, Cronulla very fortunate there. Eastern Suburbs look certain to score there, but very good defence by Cronulla, and they should be applauded for their defence to hold out Eastern Suburbs at a very vital stage, the last 5 minutes of the first half.
So at the moment, the tackle totals, well, Eastern Suburbs have had to tackle 124 times as opposed to Cronulla's 72. Which really is a reflection on just how much possession Cronulla have had in this first half.
Yes, Eastern Suburbs have had to work, and they're not noted, Eastern Suburbs, for a team to finish in the second half of the matches, and the scoreline looks very comfortable for Cronulla coming up just up before half-time.
Especially when you know that they've got the breeze at their backs in the second half as it comes away to Staines, and Staines is up over the halfway. He's lost that. C's fallen on it, but I think you'll find that Gilmister's got it even after C missed it, and East have got it on the halfway as McLean runs it up over the halfway. And McLean's tackled a few metres inside Cronulla's territory. Well, there it is. The ball's loose. The C seemed to have it. And then Gilmister came up with it. Eastern Suburbs making big ground down the left flank again. The ball's been towed through. Getting back there is Jimmy C. And the ball in the end going touch in goal as Gary Worth came flying through after that. Now, here it is. Truella making the ground. The ball goes loose, but Worth keeps it going by towing it ahead. C coming across. Worth coming through. The ball in the end beating them both across that touch in goal line. But that again could have easily been an Eastern Suburbs try. And again, the movement, the break was made down that left flank.
Yes, there's been a lot of scoring opportunities for both sides here, and we see the half-time bell coming up now.
So there it is, half-time. And at half-time, Cronulla Sutherland go in leading Eastern Suburbs by 6 points to 4. Speechley scored the try for Cronulla. It was converted by Wilson, while for Eastern Suburbs, Steve Morris scored their try.
Yes, Cronulla now would have to come out biting through their mouth guards because they've got the big chance there. They have the wind behind them, and I should think that they'd be playing the game down in Eastern Suburbs territory. Eastern Suburbs, on the other hand, where they might have folded over the last 2 weeks, this game's too important for them this week. They realise now that they're going to bite through their mouth guards as well and come out and exploit the left wing. I feel that Eastern Suburbs now, we've seen it in the first half, that where they'll have the opportunity to explore out wide and use the left wing. I think Morris is the man that could be the danger of going the second half.
Okay, Brian Norton, my guest commentator here this afternoon. Of course, the coach of North Sydney last year. This year, coach of the Northern Territory, very much involved in developing the game up there in the Northern Territory. And good afternoon to everyone in Darwin or wherever you may be in the Northern Territory watching this afternoon as Cronulla get an early opportunity after an Eastern Suburbs error. And Cronulla go right on the attack. 18 metres out from that Eastern Suburbs line as it's Gregory who takes the ball up and he's tackled. He's only about 13 or 14 metres out from that East line. As he moves now from Porter, it goes away. Well, he can't get his pass away. He's about 15 or 16 metres out. Quinn, away it comes again, Speechley. The pass comes away to McGaw. McGaw can't offload. He's wrapped up by good Eastern Suburbs defence in tackle number 5. And he got up to play that ball. He knocked that on, but he's got away with it. But it won't really amount to much, or one wouldn't think so. But now Speechley's managed to get it. He's hoisted it high in the air. Getting back as Lydon. So too there is Worth. And in the end, Lydon, I think, has carried that ball across the dead ball line. He gathered it in just inside the field of play, it seems, that the touch judge has ruled, and then gone across the dead ball line. But just as well for Worth that Lydon was back there supporting. Now there's the bounce, an awkward bounce. Now it looks as if it might have touched Lydon's fingers there. Now there's Lydon, foot on the line and then across. And the touch judge has ruled, and now they've made a horrible error. David Smith has kicked the line dropout out over the touchline on the full. The penalty to Cronulla, 10 metres out, right in front of the black dot. Well, that, if anything's going to take the confidence out of your sails, that is.
Well, that's a 2-point bonus there to Cronulla, and this will certainly inspire them on in this half now, because those 2 points are very valuable, especially in the first 10 minutes of this half. And I can see, as you said, David, it'll take the wind out of Eastern Suburbs' sails.
Well, the half-time, both coaches, of course, concentrating on the mistakes out there. Arthur Beetson talked about ball security. We know they've been making too many mistakes and wants them to hold on to that ball, not throw it away, and also play with pride to get into this top 3. Jack Gibson, on the other hand, from Cronulla, well, he was mainly talking about playing for field position, and once they got into the right position to run the ball, and they've been practicing midfield bombs during the week. We might see a few of those go up.
There's the kick from Alan Wilson. 2 points, and so Cronulla Sutherland in the opening moments of the second half have stretched their lead to 8 points to 4, and that was a gift. 2 points. And now Porter wrapped up about 30 metres out from the Cronulla line. Quinn, short pass to Sorensen that looked forward. Hard to tell sometimes from the angle. Now that's Staines again. Staines taken. Midway half and quarter line. Cronulla's end of the field. Quinn, Speechley, Frico. He's got McGaw and also Wilson. It's Wilson who's got it away to Coleman. Coleman away from McLean. He's over the halfway. Lydon from behind. And Lydon showing explosive speed to run Coleman down. Quinn on his own. Hops the pass over the top. Now that's Eddinghausen who's knocked that on. And the scrum will go down 12 metres Eastern Suburbs side of halfway, 10 metres in from touch. But gee, how quickly Lydon picked up Coleman. For those who saw Coleman wrap up Jason Moon a couple of weeks ago in the match against South Sydney, we all know how quick Glenn Coleman is. But Lydon picked up Coleman then in the twinkling of an eyelid.
Twinkling of an eyelid, he did like a speed of lightning there. It was very important, because should that particular player go, it would have been shut the gate for Eastern Suburbs.
Well, Coleman, he's scored a lot of tries this year. In fact, he led the top try scorers competition for a long time. He scored 10 tries this year, and most of them because he's quicker than the opposition. Anyway, another error. Made a lot of handling errors both sides today. In fact, when you have a look at it, Cronulla have dropped the ball 6 times and East have dropped it 8 times. Eddinghausen with the ball, away to Wilson again. Now Wilson's lost the ball and Spina comes up with it.
Once again, we see both sides turning attack into defence. It's the side that's going to control this ball for the next 30 minutes of this game is going to be the side that come up the winner.
Now Smith's tackled, still just inside Eastern Suburbs territory as they run it back towards the halfway line. McLean, now Gilmister throws the dummy on his own, slips it away back to Melrose on the halfway line. Truella a dummy half as they run it back inside Cronulla's territory, and Patterson has belted into the ground with a solid tackle. Penalty. Now here's Patterson into the tackle, hit into the ground. You can't, oh, there it is. There's no risk. Well, it didn't seem on that shot. It looked as if there was a movement from Diamond anyway, which may have taken the ball out of Patterson's arms.
Yes, that was good refereeing by Bankstown.
Now there's the tackle count, and that just again reflects just how much tackling East have had to do as compared to Cronulla. Almost twice as much just on those of that statistical form.
Yeah, statistics show that. And
well, East have got a chance now. McLean runs it up, and McLean has belted into the ground with some good Cronulla defence. He's played well, McLean, since he's been out there. Salvatore charges the line. He's got the ball away. That's Truella who's got it back. He's only about 11 metres out from that Cronulla line. Patterson a dummy half. It comes from Spina. Spina thought about throwing the pass. Can't get the ball away. Gilmister. Gilmister throws the dummy and goes on his own. He's got it away to Gary Worth. He slipped it away back on the inside. And Brendan Hall's going to get up and play it. Melrose from dummy half. Melrose, the little grubber kick into the in-goal area. Hatch forces the ball and forces the line drop out as Melrose followed his kick through.
good defence by Cronulla.
And there's the kick again, Melrose's kick. David Hatch realising with his back to the opposition he couldn't do anything else but force that ball. Well, at half-time, Cronulla led the penalties with a 2-to-1 ratio, but now the penalties only favour Cronulla 7-5. So East have been helped a little bit with the penalties in the second half. Of course, Cronulla got the most vital one in the second half in the opening minute when they got the penalty goal when Smith kicked the ball out on the full from the line dropout. Now, Gary Worth takes that line dropout up over the halfway line. He comes back to that Cronulla defence. Lydon in a dummy half. Patterson. Midway half and quarter line. McLean takes it up. 10 metres out from the quarter line. Truella. It comes away now. That's Hall. And Hall spies an opening. Hall's over the quarter line. Hall looking for support. Good defence from Cronulla again. That was another magnificent try-saving tackle from Alan Wilson. That's his second this afternoon as it comes away from Gilmister on his own. And Gilmister, I don't think he's got a pass away in the second half yet. He keeps on throwing the dummy and going on his own. As Morris goes from dummy half, he gets it away to Patterson, and Patterson trying to force his way over, tries to get a kick in. I'm not even sure that he's got his boot to that. The ball finished up crossing the touchline, so the scrum will go down. But have a look at this. Patterson realising it's the last tackle. In the end, he threw the ball on the ground and trying to kick it across the touchline to force the scrum. Anyway, they've got the scrum here, Cronulla, and now they've got the penalty. Eastern Suburbs being pinged for offside. And that'll take the pressure off the Sharks.
It certainly will. It come at a vital time for Cronulla.
Be interesting to see if Cronulla this time elect to use the kick early in the tackle count. So far, they haven't been doing much kicking, and this breeze is still pretty strong behind them.
They haven't had much possession in the second half yet, though, Warren. That's probably one of the reasons for it.
Well, they're throwing it away early in the tackle count.
Yeah. Cronulla with the ball just outside the quarter line. Coleman. Now Coleman, oh, he almost got through. Ankle tap by Patterson. Midway half and quarter line. Cronulla's into the field as it goes to Gregory, and away it goes to Speechley. Speechley 12 metres out from his quarter line. Cronulla still leading 8 points to 4. Gregory with the ball. He's lost the ball. Stacks on the mill. Who's come up with it? I think Cronulla have got it again. Wilson it is who plays the ball. Diamond. Quinn, the long pass comes to McGaw. McGaw's long pass over the top. That's Staines with it. Away it goes to Coleman. Now Coleman's over the halfway. Coleman coming down to the quarter line. Lydon giving chase. Back it goes to Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen slips it. It back to Coleman. Coleman away to Ronnie Quinn. To McGaw. McGaw. McGaw will score. What a try. What a great try.
Brilliant try by Cronulla.
What a great try to Mark McGaw. And McGaw scores the try, 4 points to Cronulla, and they're in front now by 12 points to 4. Have a look at this. This is where it started, way back inside Cronulla's territory. McGaw's long pass over the top. away to Staines. Now Staines does well, draws Lydon in, Coleman up over the halfway. Now watch how quickly Lydon gathers in Coleman again, down to the quarter line. Back it goes, Eddinghausen, he slips that one-hander away, Coleman scoops it up, he finds support in Quinn, Quinn quickly finds McGaw, and McGaw races away to score under the post. Great try.
Superb football from the Sharks, and it was initially created by the long pass from McGaw. Here it is, a long one, cutting out a player over the top, and Dan Staines lurking out wide. Quickly onto Coleman, and hit a look on his face as he charged down this sideline. Lydon comes after him and hauls him in with a perfectly timed pass back inside. Eddinghausen can't get away from the cover defence, but he got it away at all costs. That was the important thing. He got the ball away. Quinn was there, and McGaw bursting through, charges to the line. Fantastic football from the Sharks.
Alan Wilson, there it is. The 2 more points to Cronulla, and they're now leading by 14 points to 4. I dare say there's a lot of people up in the Northern Territory listening. You've got a big game coming up there on October the 4th, I think it is.
Yes, October the 4th. We have the Parramatta Thirst Grade side visiting up there to play against the Northern Darwin side. Yes, it's a game that will be on October the 4th, the week after the grand final.
A few representative players playing in the Darwin side too, an invitational side.
Yes, it's called the Winfield Invitation match, and we'll have 4 players we haven't decided on, finalised on yet, but we know certainly that Ron Gibbs will be one and will be taking his place in the Darwin side, and Steve Larder will be another one.
Patterson takes it up. Patterson with the ball, 11 metres still out from that quarter line, down Cronulla's end of the field to Spina, offloads away, it comes to Hall, back to Spina, and out wide it goes from Shepherd to Melrose, Melrose back to Shepherd, now Shepherd down towards the quarter line to Morris, Morris back on the inside. This is good defence though from Cronulla. They can't create anything here at the moment. Eastern Suburbs as the pass is away, it's Worth, a long pass comes away to Hall, Hall's pass now to Smith, Smith in space, Smith down over the quarter line, he sends it back, it goes to Salvatore, and Salvatore's almost there. Let's wait and see what the referee says. Referee says try. Salvatore has scored, and Easter back in business. Well, David Smith it was who made that long run, and hasn't he had a big second half, the youngster? Here's the pass, out it comes now. That's the pass from Worth, a long cut-out pass. Brendan Hall, another one that cuts out one. Now there's Smith, those long raking legs over the quarter line. He sets it up well for Salvatore, who's backing up. Wilson takes him, but they don't put him to the ground. Salvatore up a second time, scores the try. As we look at it from the other angle, Warren.
Determination from Salvatore at the end, but Cronulla had a few holes out wide here. The long pass comes out to Smith. He goes straight into a hole, and that was the second row of Gregory inside him. Where were the centres? There's Eddinghausen across in cover defence. Finally, Salvatore comes to the fullback Wilson. He knocks him over, but he goes over finally to put the ball down. There's the long pass. Worth was then to Hall. He picked up Smith with that long pass. Eddinghausen across in cover defence. Good pull in there from Salvatore. Was down towards his knees. Pulled it in well. Big prop forward doing well.
David Smith, who sent the last pass for the try, moves in. There's the kick. He struck it pretty well. It looks pretty good off the boot. He's got it! Great kick from David Smith. And he's brought them back into business. And our Eastern Suburbs going to do what they've done so often this year, early in the year, come back in the second half. Cronulla 14, East 10. And going from dummy half, Ronnie Quinn. He's tackled about 11 metres out from the quarter line. McGaw standing in the tackle, delivers away. It went from Speetsy. Back it goes to Gregory. Gregory, can he get his pass away? He can't. He's tackled in tackle number 5. 12 metres inside Cronulla's territory. Last tackle against the Sharks. It comes away to McGaw. McGaw gets his kick in. It's a high one. It's going to bounce down around about that quarter line as Worth gathers it in. And Worth runs it back to the quarter line. He's got Lydon in support. And he's tackled again. It was Diamond who was the first man up there to effect the tackle. Lydon goes from dummy half. Lydon spies an opening. Lydon down over the halfway. Lydon's got a lot of speed. Lydon's got away from Wilson. Lydon will race away and score, or will he? He comes back on the inside. Lydon's still going. Lydon for the line, and Lydon scores. What a try! Joe Lydon, the man who scored that incredible try against Australia last year, has repeated the dose here at the Endeavour field. It's Cronulla 14, East 14. I thought he made an error when he came back on the inside towards Ron Quinn, but he knew best. Have a look at this. He spied the opening up the blind side. He runs to the halfway line. as he spies there's a bit of a gap on the outside of Wilson. He's got a lot of speed, a good fend. He comes to the quarter line and then he changes direction. Back on the inside of Quinn. Again, he gets away from Staines. Coleman can't catch him. Nork and Frico. He scores the try.
He went from dummy half, Joe Lydon. He caught the defence snapping. It was McGraw, couldn't quite mark up. When he came to the fullback, he straightened, stood him up, then went away from him, using that extra bit of pace that he has. Pushed away from Wilson. I thought he made a mistake when he cut back in here. Who knows whether Ronnie Quinn would have caught him. But he beat 3 men on the way to the line, and he scored the try, which levelled up the game. The conversion to come. One more time, Joe Lydon absolutely blinding pace as he steps back inside. Ronnie Quinn leaves another one of the forwards in the wake, and Coleman couldn't catch him, nor could Frico as they converged on him. A great pace from Lydon.
He's missed it. It's still 14-all. 9 minutes left in the match. Cronulla and Eastern Suburbs all tied up at 14 apiece. Well, David Smith got the hard one but missed the easy one.
Roughly 27 is on, in place is Ron Quinn, number 7.
Good run from Patterson, who got that pass away to Cronulla. And now McLean goes up the blind side. Got Barry Russell on the field for the Sharks. In place of Ron Quinn, Cronulla, Spina, Melrose. The long pass again, which floats out wide, but Salvatore's there, and Salvatore's up over the halfway. Salvatore's still going. He's got Hall in support. Salvatore, though, he throws the pass in the end towards Morris. Morris for the line, and Morris is in! Morris has scored the try! Salvatore made the big break. The big second rowers had a blinder this afternoon, and Stevie Morris has scored his second try, and the Roosters are back in front. What a game. His first ever first grade game. He's had an absolute blinder, and it came almost from an error. The Melrose pass was as intended here for Smith, and Salvatore picked it up. And look at this for the speed of a second rower. Up over the halfway line, he leaves Frico. Now he comes down, Russell can't catch him. He runs away, looks as if he's gone the wrong way. He gets his pass away. Morris for the corner. McGaw won't get there. Morris scores the try, and Easter back in front.
Well,
here's the pass from Melrose right across, and it picks up Salvatore. And what pace the man has. This doesn't look like a front rower to me. This looks like a centre. He flies downfield. Frico and the others come across to try and haul him in. McGraw just there pulled up because he thought he was going to hit the deck, Salvatore. The pass went away to Morris, and McGraw couldn't quite pull him in. McGraw would have been there.
David Smith, the attempted conversion of the try from Morris, and look at this. Just goes across the face of the uprights. But Eastern Suburbs are now leading by 18 points to 14. And there's less than a few minutes left in the game. But look at this again. Look at Salvatore down to his knees, pops the pass up. Morris spies the corner. Now when Steve Morris sees the corner, that's normally shut the gate. They're pretty happy, the Roosters, and why wouldn't they be? Last few moments, is this going to be the end of Cronulla in 87? They need the 2 Winfield Cup points. They're down the right end of the field and they need a converted try as it comes away to Coleman, and Coleman's held up about 17 or 18 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs line. As Porter moves into dummy half, Michael Porter on his own. Porter gets away, he got it away towards Speechley. He's lost it, Coleman's dived on it, and he comes up with possession in tackle number 4. Barry Russell in a dummy half. Away it comes now. That's Dolling, and Dolling's held up about 13 or 14 metres out from that Eastern Suburbs line. Hatch, it comes across. Speechley, the pass goes towards Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen, the chip over the top, almost gathered in by Staines, but Leggett gathers it in for Eastern Suburbs. But the referee's going to put a scrum down. A knock on both ways. And there again, let's have a look at Eddinghausen. The chip over the top. And if ever there's a man who can really make the most of that, almost Staines got that ball back, but Leggett knocked it on as he gathered it in. And the referee is suggesting that Staines obviously knocked it on as well. And so the knock on both ways sees East putting the ball into the scrum. That might have been Cronulla's last chance.
Well, it might have been, but still they had the initiative to take that opportunity. And
there's the scrums favouring Cronulla 10-5. 2 tight heads though Eastern Suburbs way. And the Roosters are leading by 18 points to 14 as Hall takes it away from dummy half. There's not long left in the match. And Eastern Suburbs might well be digging the grave for Cronulla Sutherland. It's been a valiant fight for them. but they've just lost their State of Origin stars at vital stages this year as Tobin takes it ahead. And Tobin's going to play it almost on his own quarter line. Spina's away from a couple, can't offload the pass. Last tackle against the Roosters. This will be a kick from Melrose as he gathers it in. He gets away from Russell. He gets his kick in. It's charged down by Dolling, and it's dived on by Leggett. And Eastern Suburbs come up with possession again, but that could have easily fallen for Dolling, and that could have easily been a try under the post. The bounce of the ball not going Cronulla's way there, as Eastern Suburbs have it. And there's the full-time siren, and the Roosters have taken the 2 competition points. They've defeated Eastern Suburbs by 18 points to 14. They defeated Cronulla 18-14 after at one stage in the second half Cronulla had led by 14 points to 4. And who would have thought at that stage that East could have come back? But come back they did. And Cronulla Sutherland bow out of contention for the final 5 in 1987. But they at least bowed out with a valiant fight here this afternoon. But with the wind in the second half, they couldn't quite go on with it as Trevor Patterson leaves the field. But a good performance from the Roosters, and one which really must augur well for them now, Brian, as they approach the semi-finals.
Yes, they approach the semi-finals, and of course Arthur Beetson now looks a very happy man, and of course the Eastern Suburbs is very important. The finals to finish up in the 3rd position, and that's Eastern Suburbs are fighting for that position, and a win today has certainly been a great well, it's been a great thing for Eastern Suburbs to have that win, and bad luck for Jack Gibson, and he certainly has done a great job with Cronulla this year, but that sees Cronulla out of the contention for the final 5. And
so there we are. After leading 14-4 midway through the second half, Cronulla went down on the end to Eastern Suburbs. For the Roosters, Morris 2 tries. Salvatore and Joe Lydon each scored 1. Who'll ever forget that Lydon try, or the one that second try of Morris's. Smith 1 goal from 4 attempts, while for Cronulla Sutherland, Speechley and McGaw scored tries, and McGaw's try, an absolute classic, and Wilson kicked 3 goals. We saw some great football, we saw some scrappy football, but really in the end, when you look at some of the stylish backline football and backing up we saw today, we're in for some great football come September.
Come September, yes.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. 'Cause winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it all you know, giving it your best shot. Making every step a winner, proving what it takes you got. Every week they're at it, giving it their all. But who will it be this year to collect the greatest prize of all?
Well, from the demise of Cronulla to the demise of Redfern Oval. Redfern has been the home ground for South for the past 40 seasons, and last Sunday afternoon they were at home to the Canberra Raiders. Naturally, South wanted to end all those years of tradition on the right note.
The State Bank Big Game presents the Winfield Cup.
Hello and welcome to today's Winfield Cup clash between South Sydney and Canberra from Redfern Oval. And this match brings down the curtain as the last home game to be played by Souths at Redfern. A long tradition comes to an end. Souths entered the Sydney competition in 1908. For the next 40 years their home base was the showground, the sports ground or the Sydney cricket ground. In 1948 they moved to Redfern Oval. This year sees South Sydney playing their 40th season at Redfern. And what great players have trod the turf. Churchill, Rayner, Cowie, Haywick, Graves, Purcell, Donahue, Hamilton, Moyer, McCarthy, Coote, O'Neill, Cleary, Sattler, and present-day coach George Piggins, to name but a few.
What are your great memories of South Sydney at Redfern Oval?
Sattler and all the rest of them, Coots and McCarthy and all them.
Jack Lane days, Clive Churchill, Chick Howley.
I've got a lot of great memories of South Sydney Redfern Oval. I suppose, you know, this is a sad memory for me today. You know, I've been following South for nearly 33 years.
My brother played for South and he's older than me.
Well, I just said to a fellow there a while ago, I said, look at that guy walking around there. And the fellow who was walking around there was Clem Kennedy. And I played against him when I with mascot the juniors in the South Sydney junior competition. One of the greatest halfbacks Australia's ever had.
They're a great team, and because I like their players.
Girls, how long have you been following the Souths?
Oh, forever, like since I was born, it was a really long time.
What are the great memories you've got of South Sydney?
Oh, there's so many, there's just that many of them.
I've been following South for 25 years. Michael Cleary on the wing, Dennis Pittard, Johnny Sattler, and of course David Boyle.
Wally, have we been writing this script for you, have you or not?
Sounds like it. Well, getting down to this match before us today, we see both sides in the top 5 with Souths on 31 points and Canberra on 30. And both come into this clash after strong wins last weekend. Souths hit back against East after being down 16-12 at half-time to come out winners by 32 points to 18. And Canberra at Seaford Sports Ground were convincing winners over Canterbury 22 points to 4. In their previous encounters in round 12 on the 17th of May, Canberra at their home ground got the money by 6-2. With great pride, Mario Fennick, as captain of the 87 first grade side, leads his team out today, and they would certainly like a win to be registered in the history books on their last outing at Redfern. Their team line-up today is Cruikshank, Harrington, Marvin, Blake, Moon, Ellison, Coleman, Andrews, Davidson, Boyle, Johnson, Fennick and Roberts. A win to the Raiders here today will lift them a point above the Rabbitohs on the premiership table and just that much closer to fulfilling their dream of reaching the semi-finals. And their full team is Belcher, Kinner, Henjack, Jackson, Corkery, O'Sullivan, K. Walters, Lance, Coyne, Gilbert, Bacco, S. Walters, Todd. The man in charge, our State Bank big game, Greg McCullum. Both sides on the field ready for this very critical encounter between South Sydney and Canberra. South Sydney playing for the very last time on their home ground. We'll go into that a little bit more in detail. And there's a huge crowd come along to have a look at the situation. The kickoff has been taken by South Sydney. Canberra receiving the ball. Dean Lance is the first man to touch it. And already a giant shoulder charge gone in there from Roberts. McCullum is the referee. Now Bacco going forward beyond the quarter line. There's the first penalty of the match against South Sydney inside the 5. Up came one of the South Sydney players there, Boyle, and has gone into Bacco. I don't think there was anything illegal with the tackle, but it was chest high. Jackson going to take the kick, 10 metres outside his quarter. And finds touch just over the quarter line. And the tap restart. Todd comes forward. Front row forward. Walvers. Lance. On to Bacco again. This will be a grinding match in the forwards. And then maybe the backs are going to go a bit later on, but we shall see. The first spill of the ball. And now the penalty goes against Walters, the halfback for the Canberra side. Attempt to steal the ball.
So plenty of fire in the opening minutes from both sides. Both teams keen to get on top, and there's a big breeze out there today, so South's all important that they don't start as slowly as they did last weekend against Eastern Suburbs. And David, just how solid is that breeze now in the first half supporting Canberra?
Well, it is supporting Canberra, as you mentioned. It's quite a noticeable breeze. It will have an effect on this Canberra side in the first half. Quite interesting a ploy that Canberra used in the last week's match against Canterbury. We see that Walters is in fact playing in the centres, and Ivan Henjak will feed the scrums for the Raiders.
Well, there's been a bit of a turmoil over there. The play is getting a little bit disjointed with the T teams so keyed up to do well. 31 points South Sydney, 30 points Canberra on the competition table. The scrum feed by Henjak onto O'Sullivan, and the very strong defence comes up straight away on the line. O'Sullivan kicks downfield. There's no fullback at home. Cruikshank's having to chase back for it. The runners are coming through very smartly. Cruikshank dives on it well. Is tackled about a metre out from his line. Jackson was the chaser. Jason Moon went under a high tackle there to make a few more metres. You can throw an Indian blanket over South Sydney at the moment. They're all in a bunch around the ruck. They're spreading now. Mario Fennick got a few runners. Johnson, about 3 metres short of the quarter line. The last tackle coming up. Unseasonably warm. There's the penalty again for inside the 5. And unseasonably warm the weather today. It'll be a bit enervating for the big forwards.
And that's the trouble they got into last week, South Sydney. Mistakes early on in the first half. What they've got to do is just make sure they control the possession. They just can't afford to come up with those handling mistakes, especially in their own 22. That's where they nearly got themselves into trouble and lost the game, which was just saved by the big second half performance.
Mario Fennick onto Johnson from the tap restart. They're about 5 metres short of the halfway line. Les Davidson. He gets planted very firmly there. Long pass from Coleman. Oh, good tackle there. Excellent tackle from Dean Lance. Took Roberts right out of it and sideways. Mario Fennick throws the dummy. Got close to being through there. Coleman. Ellison. Boyle the dummy half. Out to Coleman. Elects to kick downfield. It's going to be a good one. Kinner misread that completely. He appeared to back away from it. Roberts. Good pass to Andrews. They're still 10 metres out from their quarter. Ellison. Boyle. Blake beautifully tackled. Right round the boot tops by Ivan Henjak. On the blind side goes Fennick. And the last tackle, it'll be a handover. Corkery's going through. Oh, very close. He was held by the jumper. Davidson had him in a sort of a death grip on the jumper. Only thing that held him up. Todd comes forward. Well, the Canberra forwards are giving as good as they get at the moment. O'Sullivan, Henjak, Jackson. Beautifully to Belcher. Belcher gets it to Coyne. Coyne loses it behind him. Whipped up by, I think it was Blake, and given to Cruikshank. And South Sydney off the hook again. Boyle out to the quarter. About 13 minutes and the crowd starting to chant, get him back onside. That's the usual ploy here at Redfern Oval. Davidson's hopped through a tackle. He's up towards the halfway. Gives a pass back inside to Blake. Blake gets it to Coleman. Coleman goes straight and strong. That pass looked a bit suspect. Gets it out to Harrington. Harrington stopped about 2 metres short of the line. I think there was a forward pass on that. We'll see that in a moment. South Sydney hot on attack. Out it goes to Roberts. Roberts gets a pass back inside to Ellison. Ellison stands in a tackle and gets a pass away, which is intercepted by a Canberra forward.
Great recovery by Canberra, but that Initial break again being caused by Les Davidson. He's hopping out wider today than we've seen him, and he's causing havoc out there. Canberra really have got to come to their senses. They've got to set somebody with the task of lining Davidson up, whether it's one of the back rowers, Coyne or Gilbert, or Dean Lance that gets wide, as they said, and looks for him when he's coming to charge onto that football and putting him straight down.
Ashley Gilbert slowly to his feet. Walters. Jackson kicks back upfield. Cruikshank fielded on the second bounce. O'Sullivan picks him up with a good diving tackle. Henjack finishes it. Taking all the time he can. Marvin running from dummy half. And he's a strong boy. He's forced three of them to come at him, even though he hasn't made any forward progress. Boyle. It's a tough, uncompromising game with flashes of brilliance. Roberts fell like a tree. 10 metres from the halfway line. Coleman kicks for touch. Looks the goods. It is indeed. It's up to the quarter and over the sideline. A great kick. There's the man, little Coleman. David Fordham, any sign of a storm coming in from the north there?
No, the weather looks pretty good, Rex. There was suggestions that there could be a strong westerly coming up this afternoon, a storm coming with it, but thankfully, sitting on the sideline, I think I'll be dry for most of the 90 minutes. Harrington's back to his feet on that far side. Lester Biles has been asked to warm up on the South Sydney bench, but some bad news for the South Sydney side today. Paul Roberts, who's been used both starting and on the bench, coming in off the bench for South Sydney, a vital player, left the field with a broken cheekbone, will take no further part in the 1987 Winfield Cup. He's having an operation in hospital this afternoon for that cheekbone, and that's a cruel blow to South Sydney.
Belcher's run beautifully from dummy half. Obviously been inspired by Lydon's run yesterday. Plays it to Todd. Todd stands in a tackle, gets it to Walters. Walters tackled about 3 metres short of the halfway line. Lance, Henjack, Sullivan, Jackson. Around the blind side they go again. The ricocheted pass. Corker, he can get to it. No, he can't. Boyle's got to it first. Harrington running from dummy half. I thought all Canberra players close to the ruck were offside then. The referees played on. He's got them now. He's got them now. The backs moved up in front of him and paid the penalty. So the penalty will take place about 9.5 metres out from the quarter line, directly in the middle of the field.
Yes, Cruikshank's come off the field and Neil Baker, wearing number 14, is the replacement.
The kick and goal by Ellison is successful. So the score now, South Sydney 2, Canberra 0.
It's incredible, Rex. Really, the wheels are coming off this back line. Harrington's going off on the far side. He injured that ankle with that long run up that nearly led to that South Sydney try. Les Biles is his replacement, but certainly some problems. A big test of the reserve strength of this business end of the season for South Sydney in such a vital game.
Walters, Henjack, little kick through. He'll regather. Henjack beautifully gets a pass away to Jackson. Jackson's going strongly, can't get a pass away. Lester Biles has grabbed him from behind. Good run from him. Got up and played it badly, and it's a penalty. It's a penalty to Canberra.
It's a mess in the play of the ball situation. Les Biles pulling Peter Jackson forward there, and Ian Roberts diving on the ball in the ruck. A great opportunity for Canberra. Jackson just wasn't able to free his hands to stay alive, and that pass was on back inside. But there's only 15 minutes to go in this first half. They've had the advantage of a very strong breeze. They have to post points.
Canberra about 5 metres out from the line now. Gilbert slowly to his feet, right underneath the posts. Turns it back inside to Bacco. Bacco using his enormous bulk to try to power his way over. Waller's a dummy half. Cleared it out to O'Sullivan. Henjack gets a pass away. It'll go out to Kinner, and Kinner's going to score in the corner. It's a good try. Chris Kinner. Some of the the South Sydney fans are very unhappy about that, but of course they would be. But there was a moment when it looked as though there might have been interference.
On the State Bank replay, that was the question mark there. The defence came in on Kevin Walters. He went without the ball. Belcher received the ball and then out to Chris Kinner. They haven't had anything to show for the advantage of the breeze. They just had to post points, as they say, and post points quickly. Even the 4 or 6 points is not going to be enough. They've got to back this up, I believe, with another try to really gain that proper advantage at the break over South Sydney. This is the one coming up now. Walters was the one that was going for the ball. He got his hands to it, but the ball was hung on to by Belcher. They all fell for the dummy run of Walters, allowing the overlap there for Kinner to dive over in the corner.
Belcher. Well, it's a good-looking kick, but it's just faded away. So the score remains Canberra 4, South Sydney 2. Davidson standing there with the arms free, got it away to Coleman. Coleman can't get rid of it. He's into the quarter. Fennick, Ellison, Roberts. Went over the top of Dean Lance there, and he seemed to be about 4 feet above him. 6 to go. The ball was touched in flight. Johnson getting to his feet slowly to Marvin. Marvin trying to plough through the middle of the ruck. Out she goes to Ellison. Ellison on to Boyle. Boyle one-handed back to Andrews. Andrews tried to force a hole through the ruck. Coleman. Ellison. Put out about 7 metres out. South Sydney are hot on attack at the moment. Roberts. He's there, I think. No, it's been disallowed by the referee. We'll see that again from head on and check out the credentials of it. See it again.
He's been South Sydney's best player for well over a month now. Now the ball was well and truly covered there by Chris O'Sullivan. He was underneath Roberts. This is why he causes so much trouble out wide. He is so tall. There he is with the little men trying to grab him by the arms. Underneath the ball goes the arm of Chris O'Sullivan. Good decision by Greg McCullum.
The scrum's gone down. It's not satisfactory. He wants it again. And a penalty goes to South Sydney. It's feet across against Canberra. So they'll come up with 6 attempts from only a couple of metres out. All the yardage has been done for them. Now Ellison's going to take a kick for the sideline or a tap. What's he going to do? It's a tap onto Coleman. Marvin taken right out of it with a copybook tackle from Lance. Turning it back in the middle. Johnson goes ploughing through. Mario Fennick, the crisscross move. They're trying to work round the ruck. Boyle ploughing forward about 3 metres away. Fennick. Davidson coming as the last man to receive it. I believe he's lost the football. So Canberra off the hook momentarily.
And good defence by Canberra to continue to hold this South Sydney side out for 2 sets of 6 tackles. South, the penalties are favouring them by nearly 2-1 at this stage, 7-4 in fact the South. So a good performance here in the last 10 minutes. And also, well, there's the scrums to make up for the difference for Canberra. They're leading that way 5-1.
Corkery came away with a good run there. Now Todd takes over. He's lost the football, but lost it backwards. And there's no 6 to go. Out to Belcher. Andrews. Out to Jackson. Jackson trying to go around his man. Pops a pass back at the inside. Corkery's got it. He's up over halfway. He's sprinting beautifully. It's the last tackle coming now. Can Canberra keep the ball alive? They've tried the kick. It's gone for the high bomb. Baker's moving. Does it knock on? There'll be a knock on here. It's going to be taken out by Jason Byrne over the dead ball line, and it's a penalty against Marvin for interference, and it's 5-10 minutes in the sin bin.
Well, I'm nearly doubtful here about the fact that it could have been a penalty try. The ricochet here, I thought it came off the legs of a Canberra player. Now, we watched
Cruikshank set himself, he's lost the ball, off the knees there of Chris Kinner. Going forward, he allowed the advantage to Canberra. He decided to give the penalty and not to play a further advantage of a possible penalty try. There it was, coming off the knees of Chris Kinner, towed ahead by Canberra, and Maven earning the 10 minutes there for pulling him over without the ball.
Now Belcher, from about 18 metres out and about 20 metres off centre, agrees that he's back. Won't get a simpler kick. Well, he's slogged it. He's got away to the right. None from 2 from Belcher, so the score remains Canberra 4, South Sydney 2. Just the one try in the match. And a lot of people not emotionally involved in the game will be questioning the referee on that decision. Did he not think that a try would undoubtedly have been scored were it not for the interference of a defending player?
And they just haven't got enough tries on the board for mine, Canberra. That would have been a cruncher. It would have been scored right near the post. It could have given them a 10 points to 2 advantage going to the break. That's what they need. There's 4 minutes now till half-time. Canberra still need another try for mine to be safe in this second half. I think South Sydney would be finishing on too strongly at this stage.
Well, the pass was put round the corner there to Corkery, who tried to get it, but Lester Biles has come up with it. Tuckwell. Swung to the ground by Corkery. Boyle. Coleman. Tuck. Ellison. Roberts. Pass off the... Well, the referees let him get away with it. I thought he was pinning it down. We'll see that again. A pass along the ground's been put down, and that's panic by South Sydney, picked up by Walters. Carey, Henjack lands through the pass even though he was falling, out to Belcher. And 4.5 minutes to go to half-time. Carey, Jackson, Corkery's on the fly. He goes around his man, he's going to score a brilliant try. He stood Cruikshank up there beautifully, stood him up with an in and away. See it again, it was a classic try.
Exactly what I said they needed on the State Bank replay. Well picked off a short blind by Peter Jackson. He drew both the men standing down there, leaving the way clear for Corkery. He had support looming up on the inside, but he just went in and away. Excellent play by the winger to stand up the fullback, Cruikshank. He's back on after an injury. Question mark whether he's 100%. They've had 3 changes to their backline, South Sydney. This is where the strength of Canberra lies, out there with the likes of Jackson, Belcher and Corkery, and they're starting to utilise it. They've got to continue to work on the fact that the defensive combination of those 3 changes in the South Sydney line are causing them too much trouble, but a great finishing display by Matthew Corkery.
And for a player who was virtually in under-23s this time last year and was apparently not getting on with the reserve grade coach, and has been a remarkable reformation of his character, of his career. He's a really astonishing player. In 2 weeks now he scored 2 brilliant tries. I know one summer doesn't make a swallow, but there you go. Oh yes, the kick from Belcher. Wide out has been successful, so Canberra 10, South Sydney 2. Coleman, Fennick, Ellison trying to make a break near the ruck, did so, but couldn't get his arms free. Coleman, Boyle. About 15 metres out from the line now. Johnson surges forward to the 10-yard line. A couple of tackles to go. Ellison. And the last one coming up right now. What'll it be, a bomb? Coleman, Davidson, kicked it high in the air. Taken by Boyle on the ricochet. Boyle's gone very close to scoring. No, it's going to be a handover. The whole crowd stood up there behind the action. Everybody in the corner over there stood up as one. They thought he'd scored.
And again, scrambling defence from Canberra saved the situation. They shouldn't have found themselves in this spot, though. What should have occurred from the kick-off after they scored, Peter Jackson nearly had the right thing in his mind to kick the ball downfield. They shouldn't have been caught making mistakes in their own quarter with only 2 or 3 minutes to go prior to the break.
Just trying to work it away safely. Coyne can't get through the Davidson tackle. Jackson gets a kick downfield. It's an end-over-end kick. The chasers are coming. Noon's got it. And he runs afoul there of Carey. Carey again on the tackle on Cruikshank. And there's the hooter in the background, giving the relief to these players who've really slogged it out in very, very hot conditions. So at half-time, it's Canberra 10, South Sydney 2. Canberra's 10 points have come from Kinner and Corkery. The 2 wingers have scored tries. Belcher, 1 goal from 3. South Sydney, 2 points came from an Ellison try. Well, they're just about to get underway for what promises to be a cracking second half. David, you've got the changes in the sides.
Yes, Wayne Chisholm's on the field for South Sydney, replacing Lindsay Johnson. That means Boyle, playing in his 100th first-grade game, will move up into the front row. Chris O'Sullivan is back on for Canberra after receiving 5 stitches and a head wound, and Phil Carey is off there. The injury toll in the South Sydney camp from that first half. Harrington has ankle ligament trouble, and Michael Blake, as we mentioned earlier, the hamstring problem.
Well, a rather ineffective kick was put in there, and the ball went straight to Bacco, giving Canberra the opportunity to attack right from the outset. Here's Corkery looking for a run from dummy half. He's got through the tackle. They're falling off him. He's gone within 8 metres of scoring. That's not South Sydney defence. There's a giant hole out there on the right. If they move it there, they haven't. They've gone to the blind side. Henjack has come up with a run that's taken him within 3 metres of the line. Walters, Lance, O'Sullivan and Jackson finished on the ground there underneath that tackle. Walters hit a South Sydney player coming back onside and rolled backwards. Mario Fenix scooped up the dregs, so they're off the hook there momentarily. 10 points to 2. Canberra lead. Roberts and Davidson are the 2 keys in this South Sydney pack. They're the attackers. Davidson halfway through a tackle, tears his way free. Got a pass away, that's where he's dangerous. Coleman out to Roberts, beautiful pass away. The pass went backwards, it didn't go to hand. Andrews scooped it up. Coleman, Ellison kicks downfield. It's over Belcher's head, going back towards the goal line. He's run out of his in-goal area, back towards the quarter line. He's run around. Lester Biles turns it back inside to Corkery, who's tackled 10 metres outside his quarter. Waters, Chris Kinner, the other wing three-quarter. Got up and played it. He's gone forward from the tap. No marker. Well, he's taking a power of putting down. Roberts came in and finished him off. Chisholm was the player that was having difficulty handling him. Lance, Ashley Gilbert turned back on the inside. They're about 3 metres from the halfway line. Henjack, little kick through. Henjack's picked it up. He's on the scoot. He's on the fly. Gets a pass back inside to Waters. Waters has knocked it on. And now it's 6 to go. It was obviously knocked on by a South Sydney player. Fights his way to his feet. Jackson away to Sam Bacco. Bacco powering his way forward. He's only 8 metres out. Gets to his feet. Waters, it's a try, I think. Yes, it is. A quick play the ball. And Steve Walters, the brother of the halfback of this Canberra side, has powered his way over. Just a monumental mistake by South Sydney. See it again.
Well, they've been slow to start this second half, South Sydney. Nobody home on the State Bank replay and defence. Early turns around Michael Andrews and notices that nobody was up the middle, but that was too late. Mario Fennick did his best to get up off the ground quickly to get to Walters, but he grounded the ball fairly and squarely. They're going to talk about the lead-up to this try, this Kevin Walters try, Steve Walters, I should say, try, because of the fact that there was a ruling that Greg McCallum was called to make on a knock-on situation with Kevin Walters.
He obviously deduced that the South Sydney player in question had knocked the ball down, and when it was regathered by Canberra, he ruled a 6 tackle to continue and a continuation of play. Really only a referee can rule on those decisions. About 11, 12 metres out, 7 metres off centre, Belcher. He's got the goal, so the score hastens on. That was a critical try. Canberra 16, South Sydney 2. Hedjack to feed the scrum. $16 points to 2 at the moment, out to Canberra. Belcher showing enough an attack to realise that he's going to get 3 on one occasion. Corkery runs into a wall of defenders there, and Davidson doing his best to monster him. Midfield on the corner. Well, he got up in the air, they couldn't slam him down hard. That was Todd. O'Sullivan back inside to Belcher. A good step that avoided the tackle of Les Davidson. I think Corkery's been flattened midfield and still down there. Jackson kicks upfield. Oh, it's evaded Cruikshank. He's had to run back for it. There's 2 runners there now. Can they get him? They do. Coleman calls Lester Biles in and around him. There goes Lester. Well, Coyne came in and cuffed him hard. Slowed him down. Coleman. Ellison. Both sides showing very, very severe signs of fatigue. Here's a bit of trouble. Andrews back into Boyle. Boyle felled by Lance, the captain of the Canberra side, and he's not well. He's still down. Coleman. Roberts taken well. Tackle 5 metres short of the halfway line. Ellison kicks. It's gone upfield. Bacco takes it beautifully. Sam Bacco. He's a man of many parts. A great cover defender, as we saw a moment ago. Now he defuses bombs, and then he loses the ball. In the play the ball, it was right back. Davidson. Moon.
I'd like to see David Cruikshank spend more time up in the attacking line. They're relying upon the likes of Ian Roberts and Davidson out wide to make the breaks. Here's a
Fennick on the Boyle now, gets a pass to Andrews, loses the ball, and the Canberra have come up with it, and the referee calls a stop the play.
Well, it's when breaks like that occur from South Sydney, they're using their forwards out wide to try and cause the problems through Roberts and Davidson. Cruikshank's got to stay in the line. He's got to be the man that's got to read it when Roberts or Davidson can stand. He's got to be there for the short pass, either himself or Steve Maven. They've had so many changes to their back line because of injury. Maven and Cruikshank have got to get there and support.
Well, the player that's down for Canberra there, who I can't identify, the trainer has said he needs 10 minutes in the sin bin. Not the sin bin, the head bin. And it's... Yeah, David, we've got another change coming for South Sydney.
Yes, Graeme mentioned that Cruikshank will have to hit the line. He is, in fact, being replaced. He took that knock early in the first half. He's been struggling, and Neil Baker will come back on to replace him in jersey number 14. We also have a warming up Steve Jackson coming out for Canberra in jersey number 23.
Stephen Jackson. Yes, there's a stretcher, unfortunately, being brought on to bring Coyne off because of the knock he's received. David Cruikshank, walking from the field, receives a sympathetic round of applause. Coyne has been a very valuable member of this Canberra pack. His work rate is very, very high, and he's always on hand in trouble times to take over and do a 4 or 5 metre run, and he'll be missed. Just see the incident again. Well, evidently it was in him tackling another player. He's got the head involved in the tackle, and that's that. Walters, Todd, who's consistently ploughed forward. Well, that was a held back kick. It's going to be out on the full. So Jackson, he's not very pleased with himself about that. I think he went very half-heartedly. That tried to coax it. Went out on the full. And there's a dejected little rabbit sitting there, little Reggie Rabbit. Baker. Good tackle from Belcher. Ellison, Coleman. Chisholm. Chisholm tears his way through. Passed the ball, went straight to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan now ploughing back upfield and makes... Oh, well, he's returned the ball about another 15 metres. Jackson. Morrissey. Walters. He scored a try already from dummy half, and now we're going to have Les Davidson, I believe, called out and asked to explain why a head tackle. We'll see it again. There's Davidson. It was above the shoulders. Yes, there's a large gentleman down there beside you, David, who all the Canberra people are very anxious to see get back on the football field.
That's right. Under normal conditions, we'd probably be taking the kick, Mel, to probably seal the game for Canberra. The boys have done it well today. A real crunch match for Canberra coming into this one.
Well, the boys knew what they had to do today, and they're obviously doing it at the moment. The forwards are playing tremendously well. They contain the South forwards. Are probably getting over the top of the South forwards at the moment, and they're doing it very easy at this stage.
OK, we'll just have a look at this kick and come back and chat some more with Big Mal Meninga.
Gary Belcher. He's about 9 metres out from the quarter and a couple of metres off centre. Inconsequential, the amount that he's off centre. Got a good space to look at. And kicks. And's got it. 18 points to 2. Canberra leads South Sydney, exactly 19.5 minutes to go.
Well, Mal, what's the... I know that you're very keen to get back on the field with that injured arm, but I believe that the doctor has told the club no more Mal Meninga for 87. How big a disappointment is that?
Oh, very disappointing, Dave. It's, this is the first time I've really had a major injury. It's kept me out of the game for a long, long time. And I'm doing it tough on the sideline at the moment. I'd love to be on the field, but doctor said in my best interest I should stay out of the game this year and come back next year.
One final question. What will it mean to the national capital if the Raiders can make that top 5?
Oh, it'd be a tremendous boost. We've been there all year, and we've got great support down there. And I just, if we make the 5, well, I think that's be a stepping stone for the future.
Oh, well, tough it out. Look forward to seeing you back at the field at 88.
Thanks, Dave.
OK, well, he's only got 18 minutes to go to see his side well on the way. As South Sydney attack in the latter stages of the game, the ball was passed, and there's a penalty gone against Canberra for holding the player back.
Les Davidson is the man coming to support Ellison here. He is in the back play following Ellison, held back by Dean Lance, and McCallum a good decision.
They've taken the tap. Mario Fennick's gone close, about 5 metres. Ellison, Roberts, and Walters goes high and locks his arms to his side. South Sydney, Marvin, Ellison, Coleman, Davidson. Back inside to Boyle. Boyle back to Fennick. Fennick gets it away there to Andrews. Andrews to Coleman. Coleman, I thought, gave a forward pass. He did. The referee has ruled that way. Even though it was dropped, it was forward. Desperation stuff now for South Sydney.
It was a case of South Sydney nearly running out of players here. They've had so many changes to their back line. Michael Andrews was looking out wide for more support, and then that was the forward pass by Craig Coleman.
The scrum going down with the Canberra feed. And they come up with it. Belcher's usually come into the play around about the 5'8" spot. He did again that time. Kinner comes in from around the wing position. This is the bloke that I like, Todd. He's striven hard all day, and in a period of time when Canberra forwards were certainly not going anywhere, he was still ploughing forward. He's run 100 miles today. O'Sullivan, a pass on the fly to Jackson. Jackson back inside to Kinner. Kinner goes on the outside if he does. Well, he should do. No, he's taken the tackle, the fool. A foolish decision. But anyway, Jackson's got up to his feet, got it away to Walters. Walters has got it on there too. Who is that? Gary Belcher, is it?
Gary Belcher's in for the try.
Gary Belcher, yes, well, that's a try now, but it wasn't going to be a try a few moments ago. Kinner went too far, took the tackle, see it again.
Now, the State Bank replay should tell us that this is the advantage of Canberra all afternoon long out wide. Gary Belcher and Peter Jackson, every time that they've touched the ball, they've caused problems for Canberra. The ball should have been released there earlier by Chris Kinner. He had men in support. He failed to use either Ashley Gilbert or Peter Jackson, but quickly he rose to his feet. He took advantage of the quick play of the ball situation. Plenty of support there from Canberra. A lot of enthusiasm. Gary Belcher reading the play superbly to get there. There was the quick play though. Peter Jackson saw that he was dead on the outside, kept the ball alive. Kevin Walters screaming for it, and right behind him too was the man Gary Belcher having a great game.
Yes, indeed, and I think I foreshadowed the fact that he'd get free on one occasion, but really I can't have too much time for a footballer that's got a player on either side of him, 20 metres to run and one defender in front, and he dies with a football. There'd be serious doubts about his capabilities of playing first grade, and that was Kinner on that occasion. Belcher. It's no good. The kick has been flagged away, so the score remains Canberra 22 and South Sydney well and truly down the gurgler 2. Well, Jackson ran himself into a bit of a hole there. I think he was expecting to give a pass away. Thought he would be able to, but ran himself into a dead set hole. Walters. Little grubber kick through. It's going to be swooped on by Baker. About a metre from the line. Walters tackles him. He's the man that kicked it. Have we heard a crowd today, David?
Yes, around about 18,500. The ground announcer announced about 10 or 15 minutes ago, Rex. A very, very good crowd, and what a sad way for this South Sydney side to go out on their traditional home ground for the last 40 years. It hasn't been an impressive performance, and at this business end of the season, really big problems for George Piggins.
Yes, it's a bad scene for South Sydney, but I'm full of admiration for Canberra. They've played very, very well indeed, extremely well. Ashley Gilbert tears his way through a couple of feeble tackles. Henjak out and flows along the line to O'Sullivan, out to Jackson. Jackson turns and he swivels in the tackle. Corkery's at dummy half. He'll have a run on his own from here. Oh, he's not going to do it, is he? He is. Gee, I thought he'd... No, the referee has ruled on it. He fell short. The touch judge gave him some guidance on that occasion. Well, there's Jackson over the line, but he can't get the ball down. It's going to be held up in goal. Yes, they're really trying to rub it in now. 22 points to 2.
Great performances over the last fortnight by Canberra. They absolutely demolished Canterbury at home last weekend. Now South Sydney, critics were quick to rate both South and Canterbury, two teams that are likely to be candidates to win the Winfield Cup from 4th or 5th position. Now they're both under pressure and battling to stay alive to even make the semi-finals. Canberra this win today virtually assuring them at least a minimum of a playoff.
To Ellison. Ellison's going forward. It's a very dispirited looking South Sydney side at the moment with 10 minutes to go, but they're not giving up. They're still trying. Boyle through the pass to Andrews. It went behind him. The referee says no knock on. Fennick. Coleman. Baker. Tugwell. Got a pass straight back into a Canberra player, Waters, who proceeds to go back upfield. Oh, Carey's kicked ahead. That was, I think, ill-advised on the first tackle, second tackle. Baker, Ellison, Boyle. All the pass has been dropped by Marvin. No knock on. Dropped it behind him. Ellison charges up the blind side, but there's just no way through this enveloping Canberra defence. Davidson trying desperately to get his arms free. Mario Fennick. They're just going across field, and there's Baker knocking it on. Picked up by Jackson. Jackson swooped on it. Couldn't get his arms free. There's Todd ploughing forward still. Waters, Lance, Backo on the quarter line. O'Sullivan. Henjack cut out pass. Oi, Biles has taken it and knocked it on in the attempt. But it was going to be a long, long sprint. They probably would have had the pace to make it too. See it again.
There was the long ball from Henjack, trying anything with a lead at 22 points to 2 at this stage, not coming off. Biles going for the intercept, but not being able to control the ball. Would have been the only bright spot for Souths out of 80 minutes of football.
Henjack. O'Sullivan. Nicely worked to Corkery there, run around move. Very nearly got him into a gap. Belcher. O'Sullivan. Oh, he's probing. He's been put down and flops to his feet pretty smartly. Held down now. Waters, Jackson changes direction, goes back towards the blind side. Dean Lance, a run-around move. Morrissey comes off the end of it. 10 metres out from the line. Well, the kick has been charged down, but he's regathered it. 6 to go. Ashley Gilbert charges through. It's a try, no doubt about it. Good footwork, good control, plenty of pace. The big man's gone over again, and this is becoming an embarrassment now for South Sydney. It's 5 tries to 0. See it again.
All too easy for Canberra. Craig Coleman going for the dummy. Missed tackles on that blind side there for South. That was very, very easy for Canberra. They hold this big lead, or held the lead before this try of 22 points to 2. Their forwards have done a marvellous job. South Sydney, well, they're the favourites in the forward pack as the two teams lined up in the first half, but Ashley Gilbert just planting the ball, more or less saying that we're far too good today, both in the forwards and out in the backs.
Yeah, 5 tries to 0 is a fair summation of it. There's nothing you can say about South Sydney. They've had some bad luck, but that is consistent with all football teams at one stage. Now Belcher to attempt the goal. Oh, what an awful kick. He seemed to kick that halfway up. It was only about 10 metres out and about 10 metres off centre, so he had every right to kick that. 26 points to 2. Dying seconds of the game. Moon. 10 metres out from his quarter line. We're in injury time now. Coleman back into Andrews, back to Boyle. Boyle to Roberts. That pass looked forward to Mario Fennick. He's given it straight to a Canberra player. And Davidson comes in to flatten that Canberra player, and it was Dean Lance, I believe. We'll see that again.
We'll just keep a lookout for your ribs here, Dean Lance. He's standing waiting for the referee to call him to play the ball, and whack. Straight into the pack comes Les Davidson. Certainly could have done without that with about 30 seconds to go.
He's been absolutely winded, and there's the hooter to end the section for South Sydney. A merciful release in a game that they've done absolutely nothing. Canberra tries. Kinner, Corkery, Walters, Belcher, Gilbert, and goals Belcher 3, making their 26 points. South Sydney 1 goal. Ellison was the scorer of that. 26 points to 2, a real flogging.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. 'Cause winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play. That's what the big game's all about. Giving it the best you can. Always being a leader, never bowing to any man. Giving it all you know, giving it your best shot, making every step a winner, proving what it takes you got. Every week they're at it, giving it their all. But who will it be this year to collect
Some real upsets in this weekend of football in Sydney. Let's go to all the other games played last Sunday.
And Manly and North always produce a titanic struggle no matter where the teams are on the premiership table. And today was to be no different. The premiership frontrunners Manly got away to a bright start. Picking up a loose ball, Des Hasler found willing support in O'Connor and Ronson for the Sea Eagles' first try. The pace of Dale Shearer then set up another Manly four-pointer. Stuart Davis, who later left the field with injured ribs, did the finishing work, and it seemed it was going to be an easy day out for Fulton's frontrunners. Then the Bears decided it was time to strike back, and 2 tries in 2 minutes showed some glaring defensive problems in the Manly side. But Manly still enjoyed a 20-12 half-time lead. However, it wasn't long before the Bears were back on level terms at 20-all, thanks to this try by Ian French. But it seemed Manly were to be the team to finish full of running, 2 tries in quick succession by Shearer and replacement winger Jeremy Ticehurst. The Bears, though, kept coming back. 2 more North tries preceded this match winner by Mark Cannon. It was their 6th of the match, and their spirit today will send shockwaves around South Sydney territory tonight with their crucial final round clash next weekend. And while North produced a big upset, nobody really expected Western Suburbs to cause too many problems for the Tigers. But the Magpies, who have the final round bye next weekend, had other ideas. The Wooden Spooners gave coach Steve Goshen a great farewell, with Trevor Cogger going over midway through the first half. West are out to make up for their contentious first-round loss to Balmain, and although being bustled off their game, the Tigers hit back through a try to John Owens and clung to an 8-6 lead at the half-time break. West's second try came from a Brett Clark kick, which John Elias regathered to find Brett Davis backing up, and Western Suburbs were back in the ball game. Balmain had 3 tries disallowed, including this Phil Sigsworth effort near the final hooter. Referee Giles O'Donnell, who had a controversial match, judged that Sigsworth had been held up. His ruling clearly upset a number of the Balmain players. The final scoreline remained West 14, Balmain 10. And today's great weather attracted over 13,000 people to the Parramatta Stadium for the clash with the Eels and the Saints. And the crowd got its money's worth almost from the kick-off. Tony Chalmers showed great speed to totally outpace the St George defence for the first try after just 27 seconds of play. Saints' reply came soon after, when Robertson, Johnston and Flanagan showed good skills, resulting in a neat St George 4-pointer. However, Saints never really threatened the Eels, who raced in 7 tries to 3 in their last home appearance of the year. The final score of 34 points to 16, the Eels victorious over the Dragons.
On to the Monday night clash now, and Canterbury Bankstown were at home at Belmore Sports Ground against the Illawarra Steelers. For Canterbury, they have to win to stay alive for those semi-final race in 1987. In fact, they have to win both their remaining games. And as I said, this one starting with Illawarra.
Monday night. Underline. Monday night football.
Hello and welcome to this round 25 match in the Winfield Cup from Belmore Sports Ground between Canterbury Bankstown and Illawarra.
From fullback, Michael Hagan, Colin Whitfield, Tony Curry, Peter Mortimer, Andrew Farrer, the halves of Terry Lamb and Steve Mortimer, the forwards, Paul Langmack, Chris Mortimer, David Gillespie, Peter Kelly, Mark Bugden and Paul Dunn.
Well, thank you, Graham. Only one change to the program team, with Michael Carberry coming into the second row, pushing Jeff Hardy back to lock. From fullback, the team is Steve Larder, Dean Carney, Brian Hetherington, Graham Bradley and Alan McIndoe, the halves of Mackie and Haddock, who will lead the side, and the pack of Jeff Hardy, Michael Carberry, Chris Whipple, Cavill Hugh, Michael Bolt and Keith Cole. Well, joining us on touchline tonight for this Monday Night Football is a man that would dearly love to be out there sporting the Canterbury colours tonight, the injured prop forward Peter Tunks. Well, Tunksy, after the grand final appearance last year, who would have thought at this stage of the season the Bulldogs would be fighting for their life?
Yes, David, it's been a very disappointing season in a lot of ways for us. We've got ourselves to blame, really, no one else. We're in a situation now, if we win our last 2 games, we could probably force our way into the 5 or a playoff, and that's what we've got left, and that's what we're aiming to do.
Well, I know a lot of the top sides still fear Canterbury. Feasibly, can Canterbury go on with it if they get in the top 5?
Well, I think this year's competition is the most even in the last 5 or 6 years that I can remember, and I really feel that whether we make the semi-finals or not, a team from 4th or 5th could possibly make the grand final and quite easily win it. You know, there's no side I feel that stands out head and shoulders above everyone else this year.
OK, we look forward to your comments tonight.
Thanks, Dave.
OK, and of course we look to see whether Illawarra can provide nuisance value to the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs in Monday Night Football from the Belmore Sports Ground. Of course, with Tunks out, his flatmate Paul Dunn comes into that Canterbury Bankstown front row. We'll be back with all the action of Monday Night Football from Belmore in just a moment.
We've got a lot of ball users in the Illawarra side. Chris Withall, Graeme Hughes and Michael Carberry all have ball skills. Whether they've got enough runners is another matter. The kick-off's gone. Hagan took it, gave it to Farah, comes out to within 5 metres of the quarter line. Hagan again to dummy half. There's the first penalty of the match against Illawarra for failure to get back the 5 yards. And is your adrenaline pumping, Peter?
Yes, Rex, I'd like to be out there, but Paul's he's a very, very well-qualified replacement, and I'm sure he'll go well tonight.
We're all sure of that. Canterbury back on attack right now. Steve Mortimer. Out to Hagan. Hagan's looking on the inside to Peter Mortimer, and he juggled the ball. Illawarra under pressure now. Canterbury started to get their game together. Well, there was an ordinary pass, and it's come up with Illawarra.
Pressure pass from Stevie Mortimer. It wasn't back on the inside. There was plenty of defence there. Peter Kelly had virtually no chance of taking it.
The double markers not being in the accredited position there. And we'll wait till this penalty's taken, and then we're going to hear Mr. Footy Tab himself, John Croucher, give us some information. Larder's kick finds touch. Yes, John, what's the story?
Well, Rex, you're not going to be surprised again to hear that Canterbury are the hot favourites to win this. 75% of the entries have gone for them to win. There's $34,000 to win on Pick the Result. The popular score tonight, Canterbury 18, Illawarra 6.
Illawarra 18, Illawarra 6, Canterbury 18. That's the way it is, eh? Right, we'll see. Cole's got to within 3 metres of the halfway. With all dummies. Very close to going over the sideline. And again, it's Bugden this time, who's been caught offside, careering up in an offside position. Now, what will the option be? They're going to take the kick for touch, according to Terry Haddock. Steve Larder's the man. A Darwin footballer originally. Came to Manly. Didn't like it. Went back. Picked up by Illawarra and has proved a great success. Withall now within 3 metres of the 5 metres of the line. On to Cole. Cole trying to batter his way through. I suggest that's been tried by better players than him. Mackie, Haddock back on the inside to Hardy. Hardy slipped a tackle but got picked up by cover. Carberry, Haddock, Mackie, dummies, steps, pass away there to number 11, Graeme Hughes, and he's dropped the football. Well, that lets Canterbury off the hook for a moment. Had about 17 minutes of play in this first half. No sign of a try as yet. Scrum won by, and he's going to score a try. Perry Haddock scooted over and scored a try from about 16 metres out. That was as soft as butter. Wasn't a hand laid on him. And I dare say something to do with Steve Mortimer there because he just wasn't on.
Well, the beauty of the scrum win against the feed inside the opposition's 22. There it was. Ball came out very, very quickly to Haddock. Langmack was caught. He wasn't out of the scrum quick enough on that occasion. Terry Lamb was trying to check and stay on his opposition 5'8". They were all surprised there. The big gap there, Lamb standing well and truly outside of his 5'8", allowing him room to move back inside, but it just came out like a bullet out the back, and that was the head start on Paul Langmack, and Terry Lamb caught in no man's land.
Well, that's one up to Bolt. Michael Bolt, who's won the first scrub of the match against the feed, and I've no doubt I think hookers like to do that more than score tries. Carney to take the kick. And he's kicked it right out of the ground, so the score now, Illawarra 6, Canterbury 0. Okay, we're back here at Belmore Oval. The score 6-0 in favour of Illawarra. And David, what's the latest on Steve Mortimer? I see he's out there.
Yes, he stayed on the field. Dr. Hugh Hazard, the Canterbury doctor, and Larry Britton, the trainer. There he goes on the burst. Stevie Mortimer showing no ill effects. There is a capsular trouble on his knee. They're hoping that he will be able to run it out. Let's hope he doesn't come off. We saw how it knocked South Sydney around yesterday when they lost key players.
Curry sprinting for the line, gets the pass back into Farah, and Farah's in for the try. What a way to hit back. That's good stuff. Illawarra opened right up there. Curry supplied the initiative and supplied the expertise and the skill, the strength. Went through, turned it back inside to Farah. See it again.
Canterbury had to hit back straight away. Illawarra plenty of confidence after that try from their skipper Perry Haddock. The first real occasion where Canterbury have sent the ball wide. Now 4 Illawarra defenders went to cover Tony Curry. That was bad communication in the defensive line, leaving the gap back up on the inside. Well read by Andrew Farah. Good ball outside from Peter Mortimer to put his man outside the defence. Both centres tended to follow him across, and well read by Andrew Farah to come back up on the inside.
Well, that was the way to do it. A champion side as they've been. You'd expect them to hit back. They've done it magnificently. We've got a 6-4 scoreline at the moment. And Terry Lamb, the kicker of 51 goals from 72 attempts in 87, is the man who's going to attempt the conversion. Lamb's also the second leading point scorer in the Rugby League with 13 tries, 51 goals, a field goal, and for 153 points. 12 metres in from the sideline on the quarter. And that is an uncharacteristic kick. It went away to the right, didn't deviate. The score remains Canterbury 4, Illawarra 6. Now Winfield goes through, and it looks like it could be a try to Terry Lamb on the inside. It is, it's Terry Lamb underneath the post. It's a brilliant try. Colin Winfield was the man who carried it on and did so well, but the initial break was made back in the Canterbury corner by Andrew Farah. Very strong play, but see it all again.
The great surge by Canterbury, a quick play of the ball by Farah after he made the break from the kick-off. They had numbers out wide here. And Colin Whitfield's the man that stepped back inside. Plenty of room to move there. In fact, it was Brian Hetherington not coming across in cover defence. Lamb was nearly interfered with back up on the inside, and Whitfield nearly gave the ball too early there to Lamb backing up on the inside, allowing Larder to try and interfere with the ball. But he's always there back on the inside. The man that Canterbury know, as soon as they make the break, they can look. Terry Lamb's going to be there to take the ball, but Whitfield looked dangerous a couple of times tonight when he's handled the ball. A good step back on the inside there to beat the defence, and Terry Lamb with that clear run to the line under the post, and there shouldn't be any trouble with this kick and goal.
Yes, a great hit back. Illawarra right back on the heels now. They were in Cloudland just 4 or 5 minutes ago, and now they're in Disneyland. Well, Peter, that's the way for your side to hit back.
Yes, Rex, it didn't look too good when Perry Haddock was allowed to stroll over from that scrum, but the boys have hit back pretty well. Terry Lee's the best backer up in the game, and it's good to see him hit back in such a devastating fashion.
It is indeed. He's kicked a goal. The lad up on the top of the roof has caught it, up near the Bulldog. And the score now, Canterbury 10, Illawarra 6. Steve Mortimer, Paul Dunn, right through. He could go on with this. Oh, he's been tackled there by Perry Haddock. And Haddock doing monumental work for the Illawarra side. Out there, it should be a try to Gillespie. The pass has gone out to Farah. And Farah's in for the try off a Gillespie pass. Good stuff. Very good indeed. Thinking all the time. I thought he could have gone on with it. The tackle brought him undone, but as he was falling, off she went on the outside. See it again.
It was all set up by that run from Paul Dunn. Canterbury had set themselves for the second tackle to come back down the blind, so the players were still hanging down here. It was a great short ball from Hagan, Gillespie, and then Gillespie cutting the ball long there to Andrew Farah to pick up his second try. Steve Mortimer decided to miss a man. This was the good ball. The short ball from Hagan drew 2 Illawarra defenders, and a great ball from Gillespie as he was falling in the tackle for Andrew Farah, who was unmarked. So it was all too easy for Farah. He hasn't really had to beat a man to pick up the 2 tries tonight. But they set themselves for that play perfectly. Canterbury, they had the numbers as soon as they switched back down to the short line.
So the score hastens on, 14 points to 6 in favour of Canterbury Bankstown. A score at a critical time with just about 4 minutes to go to the half-time break. And Terry Lamb from the junction of the 10-metre and the quarter line will attempt the conversion. You can see the little mound of sand slightly to the right of where he's kicking from. There it is. That's where he had one of his last kicks from, and pushed it directly to the right. Yes, he's measured that one, and over it goes. So the score now, Canterbury 16, Illawarra 6. This is great stuff. Out to Mortimer. Another train goes roaring past. Cock-a-doodle-ooing. Hardy. Out to, not Hardy, out to Dunn. Dunn back into Lamb. Lamb's gone close to it, but Carberry's taken him out with a good ball and all tackle, only 5 metres from the line. Langmack at dummy half. Flick pass and it's under Gillespie, and Gillespie's in. Well, they've scored the try that they wanted, and that's the one that's really brought the Illawarra side undone. Sheer power.
Well, quick thinking here by Canterbury, but this just underlines the defence of Illawarra in the last 20 minutes of this first half. There's a double marker there, the flick pass to Gillespie. Now there's 3, 4, 5 Illawarra players coming into shot. No one can lay a hand on him. They had plenty of time to stop him. The break was, the initial bust was made by Terry Lamb. The try looked on there. There was the quick thinking here from Langmack. He had a quick yarn. He looked over his shoulder. He saw Gillespie standing there. He called him a second time there as we see him trying to communicate the flick pass. But just have a look at the missed tackles here. 1, 2, 3. Not a hand was being laid on him as he just dived over next to that left hand upright.
And when you see a sight of a little tiny halfback like Perry Haddock standing in front of a man like Gillespie and attempting to stop him, you're aware that there are some players in this Illawarra pack who should be booked for loitering. There are 2 or 3 at the moment that I would have had off the field 15 or 20 minutes ago for not performing any function in defence. No names, no pack drill. Lamb's kick will be taken from 10 metres out and opposite the left-hand upright. Should have no trouble. He has no trouble. So, at the half-time break, we go in with a scoreline that reads Canterbury 22, Illawarra 6. Canterbury's tries have come from Farah, Lamb, Gillespie, goal from Whitfield. No goal from Whitfield. Lamb 3 from 5. And the try to Illawarra came from Perry Haddock, and 1 goal from 1 attempt to Dean Carney. So that's it. There's plenty more to come. Don't go away. Canterbury 22, Illawarra 6. Darren Appleby. I've never seen him go round. He'll be playing a number 18 jersey. Canterbury's Kelly charging ahead. Bugden. Steve Mortimer. Got a pass away to Chris Mortimer, back to Steve Mortimer, on to Terry Lamb, and Lamb's underneath the posts. It's a great try to Terry Lamb, great backing up, really fine stuff. Steve Mortimer was involved twice, but a try that's really set the seal on what was a good win now becomes a great one.
Steve Mortimer always quick to sight the gaps close to the ruck, either 5 or 10 metres either side. His brother Chris read the play well. Great backing up on the inside. Good short play from Canterbury. They've been struggling in this second half. They've finally come to life with this try just because of poor defence again from Illawarra right up the middle of the rucks. There was plenty of players there for Canterbury on hand to score that try. Terry Lamb, well, call him greedy if you like, but he picks himself up, his second for the night. There's Mortimer. He's a danger man around the rucks. He's going to be much more of a danger man if they make their way to the Sydney Cricket Ground. He saved some of his best football out there, and tonight, well, he's having a fine game too and causing plenty of problems short of that ruck.
Well, 16 points from Terry Lamb at the moment. A couple of tries and I believe 4 goals. This is an easy one. This is one of those ones that everyone would like to take from directly in front. I hope I haven't put the mocker on it. No way. And the ball goes over the back. So the score hastens on. Canterbury 28, Illawarra 6. Haddock. When he ducks underneath a player, he's only short. When he ducks underneath, he almost disappears into the grass. Hetherington. To his feet and plays it. Carney tries his luck and goes very close to scoring. Out it goes to Mackie. He kicks in behind the defence. This could be interesting. Crosland gets to it. I think that's Darryl Crosland, who's come on only seconds ago and scored a try from a kick through. So that's a good one.
Darren Appleby's the man who picked up the try in 18. Great little kick here. He noticed that the play was on. Great kick from Mackie. He saw that his winger was well positioned deep, coming onto it later. And here's Appleby coming into play. This is a great try, great piece of rugby league thinking. Unfortunately, they're well and truly beaten on the scoreboard at this stage, but you could see his mind tick over here. It was well and truly planned, beautifully pulled off, perfectly placed, and he certainly has got some pace, Darren Appleby, as he just flies onto that, picks himself up a try. Great football. It certainly was planned. You could see it just from the moment it was played. Here he goes, Mackie. Just sets himself. He hangs off the Canterbury Bankstown defence. Lands it on a sixpence, if you like. Just the one bounce straight into the waiting arms. Excellent rugby league try.
Carney from the sideline out on the quarter line and, well, the junction of the sideline there. It's purely academic with 11 or 12 minutes to go. 28 points to 10. The Canterbury crowd have loved it all. I would suggest the Illawarra people have been, those that have journeyed from the deep south, are less than happy. Just went a little bit to the left, so the score remains Canterbury 28, Illawarra 10. Haddock slips into dummy half. They're up at the quarter. Haddock really has put in a monumental amount of work in this match and has been tackling big men, small men. Long cut-out pass to Mackie. There's the kick through. Well, he's going to get it too, by heavens. That's a good one to Carney. Carney judged that beautifully and come up with a late try that's putting a little bit of respectability into this score. Now, Peter Mortimer has come over. See it again on the replay, and you judge.
Great play again, Greg Mackie. Everybody was perfectly onside, and a complete replay of the Appleby try. All it was, this time they've switched it to the left-hand side of the field.
perfectly placed. The Canterbury wingers and all the Canterbury defence hone in on their defensive line. Their defence works so that they've all got to come in together, and Illawarra have picked them out. They've picked them out because they've been too shallow, leaving plenty of room there for the outside backs to come in onto that kick. Again, great credit to Mackie for putting it right on the spot, and Dean Carney for reading the play.
Dean Carney was, in my view, a couple of metres offside when he scored that, or when he took the ball, but it's useless arguing about it because the referee has said it was a try. 28 points to 14 in favour of Canterbury Bankstown. And the Canterbury kids are making little monsters of themselves by banging on the tin around the stand. Carney's kick is successful. So the score now, with only a short time to go, is Canterbury 28, Illawarra 16. Steve Worthington. There's the hooter. So at the end of the game, we've got a scoreline that reads 28 to 16. The Canterbury tries have come from Farah and Lamb, 2 each, Gillespie 1 and Lamb 4 goals. For Illawarra in their 16 points, Haddock, Appleby and Carney, those 2 tries to Appleby and Carney coming very late from kicks, both of them coming from Mackie. Carney has got a couple of goals. That was the scoreline, 28 to 16, and repeating, Canterbury still alive in 87.
So with our semi-final position still certainly unclear, let's take a look at next weekend's games for you. East up against Canberra, Penrith and Parramatta, Balmain and Manly to see if Balmain can stay in 3rd spot or drop back to 4th or 5th, St George and Canterbury, Norths and Souths, Illawarra and Cronulla, and Western Suburbs finishing the year on 2 points with the bye. Well, I trust you've enjoyed all the action once again on the Sydney week of Rugby League. I'm Graeme Hughes saying goodbye for now.
Every week they're at it, never daring to let up. 'Cause winning's the only thing that counts when you're playing for the Winfield Cup. It doesn't matter if you're famous or a youngster making his way. There's only one thing that matters, and that's how well you play.